Most people in St. Vincent thought the director's job is to cast the actor. The whole idea of guiding, holding people's hand, helping them to interpret, all of those things didn't come in to directing except within the New Artist Movement. My name is David Darkie Williams, and this is my story. I am from Sion Hill. I was born in Sion Hill. I still live in Sion Hill. So I guess, according to Vincentian parlor, I'm a Sion Hill man to my heart. I was born in the 1950s. So I have that era in my background, and I have seen theater and other aspects of culture, and specifically aspects of Vincentian culture. I've seen us go through change. I've seen us have rough times. I've seen us go through reasonably smooth flowing times. This whole excursion into theater arts, I think, came through the nurturing I got. My journey in theater and the performing arts, I would say I was nurtured to some extent by persons within my family and without who were active artists. First, from my grandfather. He was a drummer and a carnival person, carnival man. He is one of those characters that you used to see around town at carnival time in the 50s and 60s, with like whining donkey man and those kinds of costuming. Then you had the as we used to call it back then, monkey band. Kong was only one of the characters that plays the monkey man at carnival time. And Kong came from down on the leeward side. I could remember a man called Albert. He used to come from the windward side. School was in on Carnival Monday. So on Carnival Monday, you leave home and you go on to school, and Kong come up from leeward, and Albert come out from the windward side and come into your schoolyard, Methodist School, Richmond Hill School, any of those schools. And the entire school would run out in the road. I came through those experiences. I lived those moments. And I am one who is not shy to use those experiences when it comes to the Vincentian theater. Of course, you don't get a lot of opportunities to use them and to tell those kind of stories. We are more in the modern day type of theater. But there's a connection between that culture and what we present for theater here in St. Vincent. I was always a performer. Growing up with a man who have a drum group, there are always drums in every corner of the house. My grandmother, she was a Baptist. The Baptists have their harvest time. The harvest would have what they call then a cantata. And that means a concert type of presentation or celebration. And children had to sing in this concert type presentation. And so David had to sing. And so in my later years, when I just got into my 20s, say between 15 and 20, I tried hard to be a DJ. But that didn't work out for me. And I quickly gave it up because equipment was expensive back then. And you know, if you want to make a mark, you have to be doing the best. So all of these attempts at doing things that reflect the local culture and the black culture, the new artist movement came into being. And I was invited by one of the members to join the movement. The new artist movement had a director, president, or a lead, whatever you call the leader, named Blazer Williams. And Blazer overall carried the weight of the new artist movement. Most people in St. Vincent thought the director's job is to cast the actor. The whole idea of guiding, holding people's hand, helping them to interpret, all of those things didn't come in to directing except within the new artist movement. But because you know Blazer is very knowledgeable and so on, you are there learning things, and well, other people who have had the experience of doing theater outside of St. Vincent, who are members of the new artist movement, were also getting their voice in, getting their voice through, and thing. So I think my biggest inspiration within that grouping after Blazer would definitely be Ron Ellis. Ron Ellis is of blessed memory, as we say now. He died a couple of years ago. But Ron was a technician in the true sense of the word. That is, he dealt with electrical things and so on and so on. He is one of the people within the group who did that. But he is also technical in things like interpreting scripts, all the other things that goes with acting. Ron had a unique perspective on those things, and he shared them. So I was in good company, and I just followed on until the consciousness start changing into something else. The creative part of me start coming to the fore, and before long, I think I was regarded as the lead actor within the movement, within the new artist movement. And I was getting those looks in the public sphere about, and you might have been hearing the little whispers about ability and naturalness and so on. And with those whispers, I was encouraged to continue as far into this thing they call theater, go into it as far as is possible. And so coming with that background from my grandfather's experience and my grandmother's experience, and now joining this more up-to-date group called the New Artist Movement, NAM, I started taking theater very seriously. However, the technical things about theater, I didn't know. I wanted to train, okay? I wanted to train in theater. And I would stay away from taking holidays for 1 year, and then I would add the second year's holidays to that previous year, and I would ask for a month without pay. And there were, as far as I could remember, 2 universities in the United Kingdom that you can go to and do a full course in one of the main disciplines. And the main disciplines: acting, writing, directing. I spent probably a 7-year period saving holidays and taking leave without pay to go to get a university certificate in the one of the three disciplines. So the first time I went to do acting. Being very serious about theater after I got those 3 certificates. I started seeing how I could manipulate those qualifications to bring me work. But sad to say, the country was not in that frame of mind yet. I continue sharing my expertise with whoever would want it. And for the most part, the sharing of that expertise was for free. And to me, I have no regrets about doing that, because the misconception of what theater is and what acting is was very rife in the community. And if it means I have to spend my days trying to point people in the right direction, I'm cool with that. My first step in my approach to directing any piece would be the analyzing of the piece. And in that analysis portion of the preparations, I signal very early that we are not in this for how much jokes we could give. We are talking about assessing something in a serious way. And my signal I would send of my seriousness to my cast will be to invite someone from outside to come and read with them and help us to interpret certain lines and certain meanings and so on that the writer might have intended, that we are all on the same page as performers, we are all on the same page with that. Then after that analysis process, we will go into reading in character. And then after that, blocking. Blocking for me, it might be different for other directors, but for me, blocking takes the most time in the preparation for your presentation. It takes the most time because theater is like clockwork and it have to be even. And if we do not get a uniformed way of making the presentation wholesome enough that everybody is on the same page, then I think an opportunity to show the real theater in the country would be lost. As far as my directing process, the literature that is available has given you certain guidelines, certain outlines. I think understanding the writer's meaning, that to me is one of the advancements that I have made personally. One of the things that has probably made me a standout among other directors in St. Vincent, and I might venture to say in the Caribbean. My most fulfilling moments, I would quickly say it's an award that I won at a festival in Italy. We did this video with a Canadian company, a Canadian film company. And I think it was in the 1990s, very early 1990s. And it was on the Canadian market, and it was nominated for 2 awards at this particular film festival, which is a government festival. The government of Italy finances and advertises and do everything that is associated with getting their festival out there. And the presentation by the Canadian company whom I work with, that presentation won 2 awards, a gold award and a silver award. I think that is part of the highlight of my career as a theater artist, and definitely a memorable moment. Theater in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is struggling. That is my conclusion to where we are. Practitioners are not that the talent isn't there, but the discipline is not there among the practitioners of theater in St. Vincent. And that, more than anything else, is very discouraging for me, because I am safe in saying that I give all I can to this art form, but I am not seeing the results. We see 1 or 2 people who have made their mark, but they are in a wall of struggle. They are operating in a wall of struggle. So you don't immediately recognize the fact that there are knowledgeable people in the country, but somehow it isn't going. It isn't opening up, it isn't spreading. And audiences, because they are not seeing it, well, this is my conclusion, because they are not seeing it, they are not coming. And then a venue to really do things, to really make theater happen, does not exist in St. Vincent right now. The one venue we have, well, to young theater enthusiasts, and there are many of them, I believe, that is beginning to emerge now. My advice would be to take your craft seriously. Do not try to live on what the past have left us with. Just take your craft seriously. And people with knowledge of the theater have opportunities lying, waiting to be taken. We didn't have it in my formative years and my growing years as a theater artist. We didn't have the opportunities. Now they are seeking you out. So prepare yourself, youngsters. Prepare yourself and follow the rules. Learn the rules, follow the rules.